This is Straight Talk with Enlightened Greg Fann, the Preacher Man, and his sidekick Shanan Jones. Frank discussions of issues affecting the ATL, Fulton County, the state of Georgia, the nation, and around the world. And now, here they are, live and in living color, the team of Jones and Fann, the Preacher Man.
Well, welcome to another edition of Straight Talk with yours truly, Greg Fann, the Preacher Man, and Shanan E. Jones. And Shanan, we're glad to have you today. As always, you're looking good.
Glad to be a reflection of yourself.
Oh, man, you said that each week. Boy, I'm telling you, I tell you, you're all right with me. I don't care what nobody said. Don't y'all say nothing about Shanan no more. About him being late, about him having to do the weather report.
I'm not late, I'm here on time.
He is on time.
Co-host, yes he is. Ooh, on time. Come on, Dottie, sing.
All right. Help him, Dottie. Help him. Help him, Jesus.
Come when you want.
But listen. We have a great program to have with you today. We have the mayor of Forest Park, Georgia, who's going to be talking about her city. She's going to be talking about elections. And I want to apologize before you hear it. I interviewed the mayor. You could not hear me. Than what I was saying, but you can hear the mayor, and you will hear the mayor. She will be responding to my questions, and you won't be able to hear me because my audio was so low. But I made up for it because I've got the mic in my mouth and not holding it down in my hand. It was down in my hand. You couldn't hear me because it was not being projected, but you will be able to hear the mayor, and I do apologize to the viewers that be watching today. That's what took place. But anyway,
need to hurry up too because it looks like it's about to rain on us.
Look like it's going to rain. Okay. Well, we won't ask the Lord to send down the rain anyway. We need the rain.
Don't ask the Lord to send it while we sitting in the middle of outside.
Don't worry.
At least when I get off.
Okay. Lord help him. But Shanan. His sinuses, man, is really the allergies. But I want to just talk a little bit, Shanan, about what's going on with the election and early voting starting on Monday. Monday starts Monday,
October 17th.
October 17th, and you need to check out where the early voting precincts are. And the early voting precinct may not be your regular precinct where you vote at regular.
Right.
So make sure that you go and vote early. We're telling everybody to vote early. Start Monday the 17th, right?
Something's going on tonight.
It's going to end November the 4th.
Something's going on tonight.
What's going on tonight?
You heard of Thriller in Manila.
Yeah.
You heard of Hagler Hearn. Walker Warnock.
Okay.
Warnock Walker.
Oh yeah, the
night.
The night. Yeah. The night. Oh yeah, don't forget to check that out.
50 parties, bring some wings, all this. I'm saying, listen. Be careful, because when a couple of politicians get into a debate, it's a whole bunch of consultants and whatnot. Behind them.
Okay.
So, folks have kind of put, kind of say this is the way it's going to be.
Okay.
You got on one side this brilliant, whom I worked for, brilliant PhD, systematic theologian, administrator, longtime pastor, historic Ebenezer, pastor of the Douglas Memorial Church in Baltimore, Maryland, longtime assistant pastor to Calvin Butts at the Abyssinian Baptist Church, steeped very much in the tradition of Adam Clayton Powell, Sr. and Jr. That's one. On the other side, got Herschel Walker.
Okay.
Folks don't know the name. They say, is it Herschel? Is it Herschel? When I was raised, my neighbor called him, did you see Husher?
Husher Walker.
Hush
your mouth. Hush your mouth.
Businessman, athlete. And folks have kind of OT'd him a little bit. You know what OT mean? You grew up watching Little Rascal, our gang, and they've kind of buckwheated him a little bit. OT. And
you notice I wasn't.
I don't know. So the thing is I would caution people to think that that it's going to be such a pummeling. I think that that there needs to be a measured approach to going into this, because I really believe that there's going to be great strategy on both sides. And I don't like writing folks off. On any given Sunday or any given day, if you take something or someone for granted, you can be surprised. So what I would say is, whatever the side, just support your candidate. Just support your candidate, and and know that what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And so, if you can put out, then you should be able to take.
Well, one thing when you say that, don't take people for granted. When we look at previous elections where we thought that individual was going to win, and I go back to one governor's race here not too long ago, where you had Roy Bonds pitted against Sonny Perdue. When everyone counted Sonny Perdue out and Roy Bonds as being the winner, well, that Tuesday when it was announced who was the winner, it was the one that people had counted out. His name was Sonny Perdue. And so we have to be actually really careful about counting people out and say, well, I ain't going to vote, I ain't going to do this because so-and-so going to win or so-and-so going to lose. Well, the object of this whole thing is to go out and vote. Now, whoever you vote for is who you vote for, but don't count nobody out because you don't know who's going to be the victor in any race. In any race. I don't care what race it is, because you just don't know in terms of who is going to be. The voters determine that, and right. You are the voter. And how you determine it is by going out to the polls and voting.
That's right.
So vote for the candidate of your choice, but do vote. But we want to just caution you on some things too, as we get ready to.
Can I just say one thing to what you said before we go on to see?
Yes.
Is the other thing is when you belittle, you send a message to folk that Warnock don't need me. He's got it. He's going. He's smarter than this guy. He's well. His organization is better. He's not. I don't need to. Or So you began to. You need to keep the fierce urgency of now, and you need to be talking about the fact that everybody needs to be registered, and everybody needs to be engaged, and everybody needs to go vote early, and that's what needs to be. All this stuff about. This person is this candidate is eons beyond the other candidate. It sends a message to other members of the voting bloc that may not be a super voter, that they can wait, don't have to vote early, and then get around to November the 8th and maybe make it to the polls or not. So the push needs to be support the candidate that you're supporting, and to encourage your family and your friends to go vote.
Well, and in addition to that, I'm not going to belabor that point anymore, but you need to go vote. But as you go vote with this new law, you need to understand there are some things that have taken place, some changes that have taken place. Some you've heard about. People can't have water. You can bring your own water. But the people can't provide for you water as you stand in the line, long lines. And they're looking for long lines this time. That's why we're saying to everybody, vote early, and take you some people with you. Take Lottie, Dottie, and everybody with you to the polls. Encourage your kids to go. You go. And don't sit around and say, well, I'm going to wait till later on. No, do it now. Do it now. While you still have a chance. Anything can happen later. They can prevent you from going to the polls. But there are certain laws that have taken place and changed. No water. You can't provide stuff within 150 feet. You can't campaign. You can campaign anyway within 150 feet of the polling place. But now you can't provide, like they did the last time, food for people and entertainment for people. You can't do it. You have to be 150 feet away. And the other issue that is very prevalent today is that in terms of having proof, proof that you reside where you say you reside.
Why is that?
Because the law has changed, and the law has changed to say that one is that people can challenge your
Citizens
vote.
can challenge
They can
citizens.
challenge your vote. Anyone can challenge your vote, whether or not you live at that residence. You only have to sign an affidavit to say that you don't live at that residence. If they sign that affidavit, guess what? You will not be able to vote at your precinct. You will not be able to vote at the poll. Why? Because they say you don't live there. And you have to come back and prove that you live at that residence.
Now unpack that.
You know, I want to unpack it from the standpoint is that
You said you got to come back,
you got to come
which
back.
means that you can vote provisional.
Provisional, you can vote provisional, but you got to go
Cure
before
that
the election board
to cure the vote.
to cure it, to make sure that your vote, that you prove that you live there. But let me just share with you what you should do. You should, just for cautionary reasons, you should take not your driver's license. That does not prove your legal residence. You have to have something that comes through the U.S. mail, like your light bill, your gas bill, your mortgage payment, or your rent payment, showing that you really reside at the residence that you say that you're voting for. Okay? You have to have proof. Now, let me just
With your ID.
With your ID. Let me just clarify something here so that we can be clear as we're moving forward with this. Is that I know they're putting up all kind of barriers to keep you from voting. That's why when you say your vote don't matter, well, why are they trying to put up these barriers so that you cannot vote? You have to ask yourself that question. All of these barriers that they're putting up to discourage you from going to vote. We're going back to the 50s and the early 60s when they had the Bing. That you had to count how many bubbles was in a bar soap bag, how many beans were in a jar. I mean, these kinds of things they're different things that you're having to do, but it's the same philosophy. It's the same philosophy. Let's discourage people from voting. Oh, I ain't gonna go vote. Oh, I ain't gonna go vote. And there are many questions that people gonna ask. So is your husband and wife, and you live in the same house, right? But your name is not on the mortgage, on the mortgage payment, so you can't use that. Your name is not on the light bill. You can't use that. Your name is not on the gas bill. You can't use that. So those things that will give you proof as a married couple, your name is not on any of those things. So they challenge and say, well, we don't live there, but this is my husband. This is where we live. But your name is not on the bill.
Got to be on, and can't be more than 6 months.
Can't be more than 6 months old.
It's 6 months in a day.
So you really got to understand that they've already challenged in Fulton County almost 4,000 people residents. And let's just say this is what we believe. These are people who have not voted in previous election but have registered to vote. These are people who were sent the absentee ballot forms by the Secretary of State in the last election that did not fill out the form, and the mail came back saying that they don't live at this residence. So please, ma'am, please, sir, for precautionary measures, just take those kind of items with you when you go to vote. Now, if you have them and they said, well, someone has challenged, the election people supposed to let you vote. Now, Shanan's going to give you a number to call if this happened to you, and we'll put it up on the screen. Shannon?
So the number is 866-OUR-VOTE, 866-OUR-VOTE. And if you're having any problems at the polls, you dial that number. They will get you to an attorney immediately, goes right to an attorney. Tell them where your polling station is. They will give you the steps that you're supposed to take. If those steps are not adhered to, and there's an issue there, they can even go and get an injunction to stop activities at that polling site. So they have attorneys that are connected from the phone, attorneys that are at the court, and they're ready to move expeditiously to slow down whatever discrepancies there may be at that polling site.
All right, well, we're getting ready now to go to Miss C. Well, Straight Talk News. Miss C.
See you, Miss C.
Hi, Miss C here with your 3-minute news blast. Well, it may not be exactly 3, but anyway. Hey, Greg, hey, Shannon, hope you all doing well. And hello to you out there. I'm so glad that you've joined us today here at Straight Talk News. And listen, before I begin, I just want to show you my t-shirt. I have on my Stand Up to Cancer t-shirt. And October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Although I did not have breast cancer, I have had cancer 3 times. And I can tell you that the research they're doing and coming out with new medicines, it's really helping the survival rate. And I tell you, as a cancer survivor, and I thank God for it, as a cancer survivor, I want to tell you that the donations and the support really does help the Cancer Society. So if you can, get involved with a walk or donate. I'm sure either one of those options would be appreciated. Okay, now listen, I want to talk a little bit about voting. And I went to the Secretary of State's website, and you should go there because it has all the dates that you need to know, and such as early voting, getting your absentee ballot in. There are deadlines for all of those, registering to vote. That's important. The Secretary of State website is sos.ga.gov. And when you go on there, there's you have a lot of options. You have options to register, find out where your precinct is. You can find out about, all the deadlines, when the elections will be held. You can also get election results on the Secretary of State website. And early voting will start soon, and it will end on November 4th, always the Friday before the election. And the deadline to register is October the 11th, and that's either in person, online, or by mail. It must be postmarked by October the 11th if you're going to do it by mail. Now remember, the election will be held November the 8th, and 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. But if you're going to do early voting, it starts soon. I'm not sure of the date. I was trying to ascertain that, and I did not. But you can go to the Secretary of State website at sos.ga.gov and find out that information and more. Okay? Now, also, I wanted to tell you, if you wanted to contact the Secretary of State by phone, that number is 404-656-2871. That's 404-656-2871. They're located at number 2 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, Suite 802, and they're in the Floyd West Tower in Atlanta. Okay? All right. Now remember to vote. Make a difference, okay? Now listen. Before we go, I'd like for you to like us, subscribe to us, comment on us, and share us. Those 4 things. I think I got it right this time. Those 4 things we need for you to do, okay? Now, liking and subscribing us is right there on your screen. If you just push those little buttons, if you haven't already done so, we would appreciate it, okay? And that's like, subscribe, comment, and share. And if you have any news you'd like for us to talk about, send it to us by email. That's straighttalknews1362@gmail.com. That's straighttalknews1362@gmail.com. And we're going to see you right back here next time, okay? Bye.
Well, thank you, Miss C.
Thank you, Miss C.
Always for news and information. Shannon, it hasn't started raining yet, so we better hurry up and move on before the rain comes down.
Here.
Oh, yeah. Listen, thank you again, Miss C. If you have news and information, please send it to Miss C at Straight Talk News 1362@gmail.com. You'll see it down there on the stream. It'll be displayed during the whole program. It is displayed at Straight Talk News 1362@gmail.com. And if you just want to talk to me and Shanan, you want to be on the program, hey, we'd love to have you. Send it to Miss C. She'll get your schedule. Well, we want to say thank you again, Miss C. But I just want to say, please again, apologize for me for the audio with the mayor of Forest Park, who's doing a great job, Mayor Angeline Butler. She is going to be now. I'm going to interview her. And my apologies to Ms. Butler, and my apologies to you, the Straight Talk viewers, because
You didn't
the audio is so
apologize to me.
bad. And my apologies to you, Straight Talk viewers. Your apologies to Ms. Butler.
You didn't apologize.
And
I got
you.
to sit here and try to make out what you asked, and you didn't apologize to me. And I sit here every week, and you need to get the tape off the microphone. Get a microphone to work. You hit here, take this microphone.
Let me just say my apologies to the Straight Talk viewers. Again, my apologies to Ms. Butler. Now let's go to the
Never
interview
happened on
with
Morning Joe.
Miss Butler. Well, we're here today with the mayor of Forest Park.
Yes.
Mayor Butler, how you doing today?
I am excellent. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm glad to have you. We've had you before,
Yes.
and it's good that you're doing some great stuff down in Forest. That's great stuff. One of the things that I like about what's going on in Forest Park, you don't hear about it. There's, before, you heard a lot of negativity about Forest Park, but now you're doing so many great things. People that don't even know what's going on in Forest Park. It's sad when you're doing good, nobody hears about it, but when you're doing bad, everybody
hears about it. Absolutely.
Well, tell us a little bit about what's going on in your city. Forest Park.
Oh, goodness. Well, let me just say, so on behalf of the governing body and north of 19,000 residents, I bring greetings to you and all of your viewers. But it is sad that all of the great things that are going on is not readily known, but we do have a public information officer, which is the first time in the city's history that we've had one. And he's done an amazing job at spreading like what I like to call our gospel throughout the various media outlets. And so some of the things that we have going on is that we raised the minimum wage for our city employees. And when I used to brag and boast about,
you're talking to a union. I'm happy about it.
well, good. Well, I'm ecstatic about it. And it's really unfortunate that it took this long for it to happen, but I'm just humbled that it was done under this administration. So I used to brag about the billion with a B, worth of investments that have poured into Forest Park in the 4 years of my first term as mayor. But then I learned that there was one employee that was unable to secure permanent housing because they did not meet the minimum salary requirement, which was 3 times the rent. And in an instant, all of that $1 billion talk and investments and economic development, all that was mute. And so I challenged my city manager to raise our minimum wage. And I am ecstatic that the council voted in favor of it. So now the minimum starting salary in the city of Forest Park is $17 an hour. We just need the state to catch up.
You got that right.
Yes.
You got that right. But as a labor leader and being a part of and I'm always as a minister, I know that you are in church and you really care. And that's the turnaround. So really that really committed to the faith and looking at people. Because listen to what you just said. I want them to hear what she just said. She said she found out there was one person in her administration working for the city of Forest Park that could not get housing. That she went to work to make sure that everybody would at least be able to get a salary. And that's somebody who cares about people.
Well, thank you. And it's very humbling to be in this position, to be able to truly serve the people that, not just that I'm elected to serve, but anyone that comes within my jurisdiction. Now, I will say there was a time where I was shy about my faith, but this position has increased my faith tremendously to the point where this year, well, it's going to be next year, I'm going to have the 3rd annual State of the City address. And for the first 2, and including the 3rd, I have opted to have the State of the City address in a church. So we have this local blogger, and the third one was actually supposed to be today, but I had to push it back, so it's going to be January 5th. But in her article, she said Forest Park mayor is having another State of the City address at a church when she could have it at a government building or some other edifice, which is true. But the question should not be why I choose to have it at a church. The question should be why not? And I need the residents to understand that they have a mayor who stands on her faith, that they have a mayor who prays daily and who is surrounded by people who pray daily for the city of Forest Park. And I think that's important. I think that is really what is lacking in leadership today is faith.
And there's a covering over that city because of leadership and leadership. And that's not just on people, your council people too. That covering is there for the people and people of faith being in position and acting out on faith, not just professing it or saying it, but actually operating in it and not acting in it. So we have too many people acting in it and not enough people operating in it. So I really appreciate you. You know, when I first talked with you, this is our first time seeing each other face to face, other than just being on the other interview. But when I first talked to you, I mean, I felt that spirit, that godly spirit, that spirit of I love God, I love what I do, I love this community that I've been elected to serve, and I'm going to do everything within my power to make the least of the citizens, as far as Park, to the greatest citizens, it's equal, and everybody's taken care of. And that's what I'm saying. If people don't know your story, they don't know who you are and what you're doing in Forest Park. We don't hear anything coming out of Forest Park in terms of those kinds of negative things that we get in other communities because we have somebody who really cares about the people and really looking at the programs to help the citizens in Forest Park. Let's talk about some of the programs and things that you've introduced, you and your council have introduced since you've been the mayor with billions of dollars.
Well, and let me just, that billions of dollars, we started out in 2018 when I assumed office with a $15 million deficit. And that was because of the land acquisition over at Gillum. And so to be able to turn a $15 million deficit into $1 billion worth of investments is a true testament to the team that I have working with me. Now, I can't take all the credit, but I have some very dedicated people that share my vision and that truly want the best for the city. For so long, Forest Park has operated in its own little silo, and now we are branching out and we're building relationships and creating partnerships that turn that deficit into not just $1 billion of investment, but we also have $51 million from a partnership with Truist Bank that's going to allow us to fulfill the long-standing and outstanding capital improvement projects that several administrations only spoke of. So those capital improvement projects include our Star Park renovation. We're going to have a new city hall that's going to house all of our departments. At Fort Gillum, we have a new mini public safety complex. We have in the works the Aerotropolis Model Mile, which will aid in creating a walking atmosphere for Forest Park. And so that's just on the economic side. We have a townhome development that's coming that is like unheard of. It's going to be so immaculate. We have a 55 and older active senior center apartment complex that are coming. But I am really proud of our recreation and leisure department because what Director Maxwell has done is put that department back on the map. Once upon a time, Forest Park was the only rec department around. Yes. Yes. And then, slowly other municipalities started building up and then the county. But we were nominated back in 2020 as one of the best entertainment spaces. I know we received another amazing nomination, and it blows my mind. I can't remember it right now. But also in that, because of the change in leadership, the relationship between the community and law enforcement has increased tremendously, particularly with our Hispanic residents. And so that relationship I'm really proud of, to be able to help bridge that gap and rebuild the trust there. We were able to give, and on top of increasing our minimum wage, we were able to give employees bonuses, even in the height of this global pandemic, where a lot of municipalities were facing layoffs. We were able to thrive in that environment. But again, it's because of all of the directors and employees that really pour into Forest Park.
I tell you, and that's because of the covering, that's because of the faith, because of belief, because what God does in the midst of all of it. And when you pray and you seek Him, He'll give you guidance and He'll give you direction. All you got to do is listen.
Oh, that is so true. And it's not easy, because even though there are some residents that, let's use Star Park as an example, they want that redevelopment to come because it's coming from this administration. Then I get backlash. I could sneeze and someone's going to complain about it. But being able to make a decision and stand on it when you have people that will just want to yell at you and fuss for any given reason, that takes a toll on you. But it's because of the prayer and the faith and the covering that I'm able to stand in it, and continue to hold my head up high. And there are moments where even in the moments where I get extremely frustrated, I have one Councilwoman James, and she will call me or text me, and she'll say, "Mayor, we need to talk. You don't need to talk like that. You raised your voice." Like, she reminds me of the important role that leadership has out in the community, and that at all times you are to be the highest and best version of yourself, even in those moments where it's difficult. And so I thank her immensely for it, because without that, it's easy to kind of fall astray. But have people around you that remind you of that, it makes it easy.
Well, that's what I'm saying in terms of the team. It's the team, it's a team effort. And I know, having served a few years, I know that pressure, even council person, I am mayor, but as mayor, you blame for everything. You're not getting credit for good things, but you blame for stuff that you don't even have control over. And we do understand that Christian is the heavy head of one. So
Yes.
heavy is that head that we're from. But you're doing a fantastic job. You've been doing a fantastic job to keep in our prayers. You remind me so much of the mayor of Riverdale.
That's my heart.
Yes,
I love her.
yeah, Mayor Dixon is a jewel. She is a jewel, and she is true to her faith, true to her conviction, true to her belief in God. And she just stands, and she's done a tremendous job on her. And I thank you for just sharing with us, coming to us, and telling us about the things that's going on in our community. And we're looking ahead, in fact, more updates about what's going on in your city.
Absolutely. I look forward to it.
It's going to air. She's asked me when it's going to air. It's going to air Friday. It'll air Friday.
Well, I would be remiss
Yes,
if I did not remind people to get out and vote.
correct.
Yes, now I can't tell you who to vote for, but just know there are a lot of issues on the table that affects you as an individual and your community as a whole. And I would encourage you to look at the candidates' website. I mean, you have incumbents where their website reads as a Dr. Seuss book. And then you have a challenger whose website reads as a dissertation. And there's a saying that it takes a woman to fix a mess that men created. And just know we have one running for office.
Right, and not only one, but several. And one of the things, I'm glad you brought that up, and before we close, I was about to close it out. But I'm glad you brought that up because it's important. It's very important to vote. It's very important to vote. And I know people are not going to vote, but check out the people who are running, and making sure that the people who you're voting for are people that are carrying out your vision and the things that you desire to see for you and your family. People like this young lady. Yeah.
Angeline.
Thank you so very much.
Yes, and please, I will be voting in Clayton County October 20th, and I would love anyone in Clayton County, but just anyone under the sound of my voice, let's all make an effort to go out and vote on October 20th, because the key to all of these elections will be getting the early vote turnout. And so come and join me October 20th in your municipality, in your county, and let's go rock the vote.
Hey, let's rock the boat. Let's rock the boat. Let's make sure that we voted like we never voted before. And with all, we're going to talk on the next segment, Shanan. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about voting and a little bit about what's going on with this thing in terms of having the requirement thing, your residence, your legal residence, where you live, your light bill, your gas bill. But there are going to be some challenges in terms of people and where they live at. And so that's going to stop some people from voting because they're going to make them have to prove what they actually do.
And so isn't it ironic that they call it the Voting Integrity Act when there's nothing integral about it? And if you think your vote does not count or matter, look at the links that people go through to prevent you from voting, which is what the next segment will be about. And so I have a background in elections. So
okay. I know you do.
So I can speak on that for days, but yes, just please go vote. Don't be discouraged.
Don't be discouraged. Yeah. Get to those polls. Get there early. Get there early. Vote early. I ain't going to say vote often, but get other people to vote too. So you vote, you carry 5, 10, 15, yes. 20, 50 of your friends, 100 of your friends, family, relatives, to make sure that they vote. And for those who said that my vote don't matter, it doesn't matter, well, you're in the minority. You're not in the majority because the majority is going to go out and vote. And I am one of the majority. There you go. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Okay. All right, we're back. Lord have mercy. You know, you have such a co-host that's, I mean, he is as smart as he can be. He is as insensitive as he want to be. But we're going to pray for him for his insensitivity. Thank you so very much. But anyway, thank you, Mayor Butler, for talking about your great city and the things that's going on and the things that are out there, things that are happening. And especially what you're doing, looking out for the least, the less, the lost, and the left out, and helping that one employee and the other benefited because of your move to make sure that every employee in at least that works in Forest Park makes a minimum of $17 an hour. That's a move. And the state needs to follow suit, as she said.
Needs to follow suit. Yeah.
Well, Shanan, let's get ready to get out of here, Shanan, before the rain come down. And you got something else you want to say?
Early vote. Monday, early vote. If I could hypnotize you know.
Don't do no hypnotism.
You're going to vote early.
Don't do no hypnotism. Hold on, stop that, stop that, stop that, stop that, stop that.
You're voting early
stop
on
that,
Monday.
Stop that, stop that, stop that, stop that. Don't do no hypnotism. Listen. She said for the people in Clayton County and the others on the 20th, she's going to the poll and asking others to join her to go to the poll on the 20th. We are talking about soul to the poll on those Sundays. Let's get to the
30th.
23rd and 30th.
23rd and 30th.
Let's make sure that this election, we really make a difference, that we really bring about a change. Who sung that song? A change is going to come. When they Sam Cooke who sung that song? A change is going to come. When they Sam Cooke, they sung that song?
I don't listen to gospel.
Well, you were listening to P-Funk the other day. So, look at that. If that's gospel, okay, then you listen to gospel. But anyway, don't forget, you said I blurred out when you said that. Listen, don't forget to vote. Don't forget to vote. Please don't forget to vote. Vote early and take people to the poll.
Everybody with you.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Well, until next week, you've been tuned to nothing but straight talk with yours truly, Greg Fann, the preacher man, and Miss Cynthia Water with news and
Miss C.
information. Miss C. All right. And listen, do like Miss C say, subscribe, like us. I guess she said it in that order, but you know Miss C will say it any kind of way, but subscribe,
You gonna
like
leave Miss
us,
C alone.
make comments, and share. It's on the stream now. Until next week, God bless.
Support us so we can get a microphone for Bishop Fann. So we can hear him. Until then, this ain't been nothing but what? Straight talk.
Want to be a guest on Straight Talk? Email Greg Fann at FANN922 at Comcast.net or call 404-308-0795. Join us again for another episode of Straight Talk with Shanan Jones and Greg Fann, the Preacher Man.